Yeah, this is Point Blank. Coming in hard off the card, coming with the flow straight from the barrio, and coming with that heat from the damn street. This is PBN and Point Blank National News, the late and the great edition, and the ghetto edition as well, because this is what we must do at all times. You know what I mean? We come with the facts, the crack backs, the boom bip to the line ass lips, the flow from the barrio, the heat from the street, the boom bip to the line ass lips, and the fat and the flow that's gonna hit them with the 1-2 blow. So this is PBNN, Point Blank National News, the late and great edition, and the ghetto edition as well, because this is what we must do at all times. You know what I'm saying? In more ways than one, we got to start looking at this thing from a more brighter perspective in all ways. You know what I mean? So today, we even see where Joe Biden has decided that he's going to step aside for the betterment of his party. And he's going to put Kamala Harris, which is the vice president. Same thing we saw happen with Komoro Ras. Yeah? You know what I'm saying? And he's going to put the vice president as a woman, Kamala Harris. Yeah? And she's supposed to lead our country into greater aspects, which I surely know that I'm not falling for that in no shape or form because I'm not stupid either. You know what I mean? So those who, want to place their vote or whatever they choose to do for whoever candidate you do is good for you. But my vote, saying in always I want will go with the champion. Donald J. Trump is the champion of today. Pete Joe Biden, to me, even in his career, was always a SOB, you know what I mean? And many other things, you know what I mean? But, and a liar especially, but we really don't care too much about him in that situation. But even today, in what we've seen in the pandemic and what has been going on in itself, we know that this has been another situation where we have in itself, his his removing of himself, to be maybe a better move for him. You know what I mean? Because at his age, he should not be in that position at all. Yeah, him removing himself, is one of the things that I'm glad he doing, because in more ways than one, we know he's a tyrant in all ways. In all ways, we know he's a tyrant. So we don't really, we know that part of his history. It's always been a liar to me, a con artist, and he's a Zionist in all ways. We know what that is. And, he's basically, to me, in more ways than one, nobody wants to see him fall down or get hurt or hear that, he this and that and died on it. It's sad or, anything to do with that. And at the same time, if his mental condition is not feasible to run for president, then he should not. Like I said, we're still looking for black candidates as well to be on the ballot, but we don't see that. We need to see more black people running for presidency in all ways, you know what I'm saying? That's what we need to see. So we don't see much of that at all, in more ways than one. But at the same time, you see the decision that he made is still the decision for the betterment of his party, you know what I'm saying? But Kamala Harris, to me, is not any more different than him because she also was on the campaign trail preaching open border policy. And when it was her turn to take care of the situation, saying that Biden left it up to her, I didn't see much she did for that except ignore it and let it flow on. Because, like I said, they probably need the labor, and black people, to them, probably wasn't producing, you know, economical, bloodletting of them, and the saving to me. It more is the one black people got wise and started to do their own thing, which we should have done years ago, and many sure they're not involving themselves too much, even in the working aspect sometimes as well. So many of the laborers and the new labor are the people coming from South America. Now, if we're going to cry over something, if we're going to fight over something, then let it be so. But if you're going to cry and fight over things in which you have not fought to secure or put into the position or fight for the position of securing what you have to the point where you just get sick of it and go on a different path of maybe not really paying attention anymore or care or creating new, things like that. Creating new businesses and different things like that. I mean, different situations where they destroy the businesses in the neighborhood and even destroying the neighborhood and just don't care. Sometimes it's going to hold other different set of rules and rants and things like that. That happens. So now we have the people not putting much effort in the understanding of everything is based on dog eat dog, while everybody else helps each other is dog eat dog. So then you have this position where our neighborhoods even develop styles and different things influenced by many different newsletters, outlets, different places, and all types of different things. Stuff like that happens. You see what I'm saying? So, when you see that happen, then you know full well that the news and the media and different things, and even cultural, biological things, made it so. So, at the same time, we still have to be strong and understand the position of our country and what we have to do in order to make it secure for the future. Now we see here with Joe Biden's decision to draw, Joe Biden's decision to draw, well, his decision is to draw mixed reactions from Long Islanders. So the Long Islanders itself saying that typically the summer Sunday change in the moments when Joe Biden, saying want to be president, announced his exit from the 2024 race, everyone has something to say about the historic development. Okay. It says it is, in more ways than one, the talk of the town in that page. You know what I'm saying? We see where a person in that page has something to say. Okay, let's find out. You know what I'm saying? It says, I would prefer to stay in so it would. He said he would stay in so it would will I guess I wouldn't help other people. He said he would stay in so it would help other people. Chances of seeing Chris Paul of Massapequa. We see Jennifer of Jennifer Rickenberg or something like that of Comex said, I think it was the pressure and now the COVID I think, helped topped it all. No, I don't think so. I just think it's time for Joe Biden to go. It's as simple as that. President Biden, and so-called wannabe president himself, announced comes, saying, after increasing pressure from several Democratic leaders following the June 27th presidential debate. Many Long Island, Long Islanders also react to the president's endorsement of Vice President Kamala Harris to be the nominee. It says it has to go through the process, but I would definitely vote for Kamala Harris. Jack something of Huntington. Mingo Henry, I'm not getting into the name. She would be the absent. She would be. She has been absent for 3.5 years. She's done absolutely nothing as far as I'm concerned, said Walter Corney of East Northport. I am not sure I like. I'm not sure I like that because I don't really know anything about her. You know what I'm saying? Well, Mr. Carly, whether you know or not, that doesn't make her a champion in anyone's book. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not seeking emotions for the reasons of not electing people who are not really truly qualified to run the country in all ways. And she is definitely not in that position to me to run this country in any shape or form. You know what I mean? Because we see much of what she did as a vice president. We also saw that with Joe Biden when he was a vice president with Obama, and many of the failing policies and many of the failing games and many of the war-torn bullshit in the Zionist movement in our government and all types of different crazy characters in our government. We see that when he was a vice president, to me, all they did was the same old bullshit tonight. Now, even when he recalled himself cheating his way into the presidency and calling himself a president, what did we see? The same old bullshit tonight, trying to make it look as if, there was this, there was that, and you had to do this and you had to do that. And then at the same time, you're up there telling people that this is going on and that is going on, and you up there screaming at the American people, conning the American people, and then turning the American people against each other. You know what I'm saying? In a full blown confusion or piece of garbage of divide and conquer type mentality we saw going on during the 2020 election and even prior coming up to it, with many different factions and groups coming out the woodwork, going back and forward, and a whole lot of display of garbage in itself. But we know for well that people is going to have to come to grips with understanding that you can't run a country that way, and no country will survive actually in that way in many ways. So we have to start to come together to understanding what are we dealing with in these matters. You know what I mean? Because many factions of our country and many factions of our foreign policy and many different leaders, to me, are not doing the right thing and have never been. Such as when even we see Obama, he up there was making statements, after Joe Biden out, he was dropped out of the race, a patriot of the highest order. That's, no, he's not. I don't know who ever told Joe Biden and Obama making a statement, but we see a lot of them playing it up, even with Kamala Harris now, even trying to make her sound like she's so innocent and all this good old shit because she been out for, took a duck for a couple of while. you know what I'm saying, calling herself staying out the scene. You know what I'm saying? This is coming by Natalie, and Michael Collins, you know what I'm saying, U.S. today 10 hours ago Eastern Standard Time. We see where in the USA Today, they were saying in a statement issued by the same President Creed Jr. Case Biden historic announcement ends his bid for the re-election. In more ways than one, we see where the former nutcase twisted ass wannabe said also he's a president, nutcase jackass, signed the he signed the gay right bill as well. You know what I'm saying? Barack nutcase jackass Obama, condemned he condemned Joe Biden's choice of ending his campaign and so forth. Well, to me, both of y'all should end your campaign 4 years ago. When you had 8 years, within the first 4 years, you should have quit. You know what I'm saying? Because you stunk anyway in campaign. To stay, say he's selfishly saying he selfishly put the nation interest ahead of his own. You know what I'm saying? Saying that he selfishly, put the national interest ahead of his own. Yeah, okay. Imagine that. He also put a lot of other things ahead of the American people that was not and shouldn't have been any brand of our own. We see that Pete Joe Biden has been one of America's most consequential presidents. No, he has been one of America's most jackasses and low down dirty president, as well one of the worst presidents, along with Bush and Obama as well. You'll say, as well as he said, as well as a dear friend and a partner to me. People, Obama, you ain't nothing but a jackass to me, and I don't want to have nothing to say about neither one of your football idiots. You know what I'm saying? We see the Wall Street money machine, worse back to life for Harris. And so we see where she's trying to put herself on the scene as to being, running for presidency. And to me, I wouldn't vote for her in no shape or form because we have seen Kamala Harris' performance in being the vice president. Now, to me, what she's going to try to do and try to say that many of the policies that were put forward was not her own. You know what I'm saying? But that's not going to work because many of the policies that you were preaching of on the campaign trail so loudly was both you and him as partners, president and vice president, you know what I'm saying, policies in all ways. And you did push for it. Then you turned around and gave a so-called speech saying, telling many of your the migrants or whoever they were, you know what I'm saying, coming over the border to not to come because of the dangerous mission and so on. And probably you know what was happening to them out there being raped and all kinds of stuff as they were crossing the borders because at night you could hear the screams. You know what I'm saying? When the night fall and those people cross to the border, you hear people screaming and getting raped and all types of shit going. And you can imagine what was going on in the freezing frenzy. You know what I mean? Of the pedophilia world. You know what I'm saying? In movies and one. But she didn't do anything about the border or anything about not backing the policy. He was even on the campaign trail, screaming the same rhetoric about open border policy and many other things. So we know right there in the unsafeness and the security of the United States based on her borders. It was not on Kamala Harris' position or mind when she became a vice president to secure those borders at all. Because, like if I said, if you're the vice president, you're supposed to be speaking to the president also and telling him advisor and doing your policies and doing things, and you have a vice president to do the work that you're supposed to take care of this mission. When you was appointed to take care of that mission to secure our borders on all fronts of the United States, you failed completely and miserably. You know what I'm saying? I don't care who policy or who version it was. You know what I mean?